Alrighty, welcome back. Glad to have you back. I'm going to try to bust out the transmission mount on this video. I'm going to try to bust it out and get it done. Got a few things in order, but I'm just sitting. I was over here looking at this car and looking at this chassis and all that sort of setup. As I look at that, I would take that over here. Now that I have the chassis done, or getting close, I'd roll that in here. Or I wouldn't actually roll it in here. I rolled it outside and I put it on the hoist. You would lift this car up. You would set it down on that. And what I would do is I would just cut whatever got in my way until it fit. Basically it. I would cut whatever's in the way to make it fit. I'm not saying that chassis is going to fit or that's whatever, but I'm saying that's how I generally do things. If I had a chassis done with the engine in and all that stuff, if I had a different car I wanted to put it into and it had the right wheelbase and stuff, it wouldn't matter. I could change that also, but that's what happens. You take and lay the car on top. You just cut out whatever that doesn't work. You set the car in place, and then you start building your floor. It's kind of like it's a back and forth thing. You can build it one way or the other. Like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You want to start from his toes, his fingernails, or his hat, his head, his arms. Like there's more than one way to skin a cat. Me and Jolene were also talking this morning that, as we're building this, just kind of you have to ask yourself, what is the right way? What is the right way as I'm building this? And to be honest, there's so many different ways. We have Toyota, we have Chev, we have Ford, we have Dodge, we have just numerous amounts of cars. And what is the right way? What you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where freedom is. Freedom is, if you have a shop in your garage, you must realize that when you come out and work on your car or do something to your project or you're making something, it is pure freedom because you get to do what you want to do. Basically, that's it. And I enjoy, I'm very happy to come out here and just bust something out and make it work because it's freedom. I can do it any way I please. You know what I'm saying? It's freedom. So I'm going to try to bust out this mount. Before I do that, when we say Europe, if that offends you, I apologize. I did not say the country. But we have more people on there. Philippines, Thailand, Spain, Holland, and France, and Italy. These are all other countries that people watch from. Wow, it's cool that we're all sort of the same, We're the same. We enjoy what's going on, building a car. We obviously are if that's coming out. But I have to build a transmission mount. I have to get with it in my brain here for a second. This is the transmission mount I got with it. That's got a spring on it. I'm thinking that must have bolted to the car. And so we don't have the car that comes with, and I'm thinking that spring went up around there somehow. But I'm going to discard that. That's the way Jaguar done it. And this is going to be the way Hiltz Auto Co. does it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As I look at this, these are motor mounts. It's a piece of metal with a piece of rubber glued to it with a nut that's kind of glued inside of it. It's not a great big, you know what I mean? Like it's nothing. There's 600 pounds up there resting on that rubber. That's how it's going. So as I look at it, what I'm going to do, I buy a boat roller at Princess Auto. And I buy it because I can cut it off and make rubber mounts out of it. I can make my transmission mount out of it. And that's basically what I'm going to do. They have rubber and steel in the motor up there. I'm going to put rubber and steel in the transmission back here. As I'm doing that, I just put a jack underneath the transmission, so I would not crush the pan. I want to put all the weight across the whole transmission. I've got this piece here that I'm just going to pull out and see if I can't fit it in there for a transmission mount. The engine's basically where it's at. We're in center. We're basically in center. And if you're building your project, it does not matter if that is in center. It does not matter, and I'll tell you why. Because when you look at your rear ends in a lot of vehicles and cars, your rear end is not in center either. And your drive shaft does not run straight. So if you've got a project, and you've got something in the way, like you've got your pedals down here, something in the floor that you've had from originally, and you want to put another engine in it, well, it's not going in because you can't get this centered because the pedals are there. Well, bring it over a little bit. Give room for your pedals. Drive shaft has got universal joints in it. You know, there's no big deal there. Like, that's what universal joints are for. Even on this one, it might be over a little bit, but that's the way it is. So the way I look at it, if you see some cars and their drive shaft's crooked, well, that just shows you that you can do it. That's all it shows you. That's what it tells me. When I look at the mount up front on the engine, well, it tells me that I can do it. They done it, you know. That's basically the end of the story. When you see someone else or something else has been done, that means that you can do it. And if you don't feel that way, you're losing out. You know, you're losing out. I'm going to pull that out of there. I'm hoping everything's good. Okay, there you go. So, I've got a piece. Look at that now, would you? I'm going to shove that on top. I want to see where this is going to fit, or if it even does fit. Look at that, would you? Wow. Wow. Fits right on top, fits right on top. I don't want it on top. I want a little more rubber. See, I'm going to have to make a tab go off of this, I think. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a tab off of this. Does not matter if it goes in front or the back, does it? Now that I look at it, does not matter. Lets me touch there for. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a piece of metal like this. That's just a bracket off something else. As you're looking there on the floor, these were the brackets that were on the front control arms at one time. Now I see maybe they're going to work somewhere else, if you can tell. Here we go like this. Just want to see how much rubber I can get on a certain placement of this plate. That's what I want to get. I want to see how much rubber. I want a little rubber in there. I want at least half an inch, I would say. At least half an inch. Maybe what I'll do is I'll place the rubber, cut the rubber, place that on there, then put that on there, see what we have. That would sort of be easier, wouldn't it? That'd be easier. Lots of good comments last night. That was fun to do, the little project there. That was fun. I'm just going to chop off whatever I feel like chopping off to make as a mount, and then we'll go from there. This is boat roller. Boat roller. Roll your boat gently down the stream. There's one mount for Jolene. Roll your boat. All right, now I did grab a washer. Push that back some. And that hole's a little tight. Okay, not gonna work. Yeah. Oh, it will. Just tight. That's good though. You know that's good. That good. There we go. Now we need another washer. Nice thick washer. Then we need a plate. Well, need a plate with a hole in it. And we're going to have to go right in the middle, I see, of that square tubing. So I'm going to plate this in the middle of that square tubing. I am not going to, what can I say? I'm going to have to, as I put this plate on, or a piece of plate, or I might have something here I can cut off. As I do that, I'm just going to have to I'm probably going to have to gusset it, like this piece comes out like this, and then I'll have to piece a piece off the side so it's strong, where it's hanging out like that. Probably. See what happens. Should take this out of here too. Maybe I want to put it underneath. It's probably the place to put it is underneath. Plate can go on top, maybe. There's many ways I can do it. I'm just going through the process trying to find out the one I want. That's basically the end of the story. I'm trying to find out the one I want. That's at the bottom. Once I get the center figured out, once I get get this figured out, then I can worry about the edges on the frame. I'm thinking I can. Up inside the frame. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find the center of this because I know that this is center of the chassis because I measured it, and that'll help me center it. So I'm going to find the center of this piece, and then I'm going to weld a bar in the middle of it and put it on there and see where it fits and go from there. Washer's still there. Come out here and measure the middle of it, weld a piece on it. That's what I got to do, try to get a marker. I don't get them every morning, do I? I think the chassis is looking good. I think the chassis is looking great. Great. All right. 15. What's the center of 30 of the center of 36? 18? 18. Another ½ inch there for 7. And 18 3/4. I'll check it out and see if it is. 18 3/4. Good enough, good enough, good enough. All right, I'm going to plunk a piece in the center here. That's the center I'm calling it. Anywhere's close. I have a piece of this. I think that's a better choice than the other little piece I had on the floor. And the only reason being because I had to straighten it all out to make it look nice. Not going to do that. Going to make it, I have a choice right at the present moment how long this piece is going out there. I have a choice. Haven't made that up yet on that. So I'm going to give a nice 4-inch piece, I think. And then we can go in, out, whatever we want. A little bit. After I get the drive shaft or the transmission mount done, I'm going to go right to the rear end. And the rear end, because I have to get the rear end in place before I make the drive shaft. Never want to hold the outside end. Hold the outside end and cut it with the grinder because that'll just bind it. You got to let this piece fall off. Just a piece of advice for somebody who grinds and if you're cutting something, you got to pay attention to the bind. As I'm looking at this, that's good thick shit. Good thick stuff, I'm sorry. That'd be nice maybe to place underneath the chassis. I could weld that on. If it goes underneath the chassis, then I can bolt on either side so I can make a nice, that's good. That's good. I'm going to weld this on here right now though. Clean this off. This is good heavy wall. Good heavy wall. And if something's not perfect there, I can add a washer or take away a washer. If you know what I'm trying to tell you, I can take off or add on. Don't want to put my glasses on or off, take my hat off and on. Don't want to do what I'm doing this morning. Alrighty. She's a repeat, boys. But today I get to do a transmission mount. Transmission mount. So I set that on there. Spy it up with my little eyes the best I want to. And I'm going to plunk it on there. Just a tack. In case I don't like it, I can cut it off. Not real centered, but not bad. We'll go with that for now. Remember, you can have that engine in there crooked if you want to. You can so if you want to, and I'll tell you why, because I've seen other cars have it. That's the truth. And that's the truth of the matter. That's on top. That's on bottom. I like it on bottom, you know what I mean? I like it on bottom the best because I could run that plate underneath the bottom. And well, no, that's not true. I like it up like this. Sorry, excuse me. That's right. Let's drill a hole. I'm going to drill a hole up here somewhere. See what happens. I'm going to put a hole in it for that there. And I'm going to need the plasma cutter to get air on. All right, turn the air on. And that boat roller, I mean, you can use it for many applications. You can get bigger stuff, smaller stuff. You can use it for mounts. You can use it for radiator mounts. You could use it for... What's that? Are we going to use it for body mounts? We're probably going to use it for body mounts. Yes, we are, sweetheart. Yes, we are. See what happens. Another discussion me and Jolene had. The plasma cutter that we're using. Just think of the time we are saving on this job, just by the use of this. You know, the time that we're saving, use of it. We've looked at the car this morning, and there's not many holes in that car that I did not start with this. I've almost busted out every hole with it. And if you can picture me doing a hole or getting up and going to a drill press, and then come back and, you have to, great tool, great tool. Kick the breaker out, man. That's all right. There's the board. I was looking for the transmission right there. Did the green light come back on? Okay, cool. It'll blow out quick though again. It could be the tips need to be changed on that. Beautiful. Taking. That won't hurt it none. That, would you? Probably shouldn't have done that, but but I did. I did. I want a hammer. I don't want that big hammer. That little hammer will do. Just knock that shit off. Where the hole is not exactly perfectly round, where it might need to be perfectly round, I'm not sure. I might need to take some of that out, obviously, maybe. If it's not, then you can, if you have a problem like that, you can take a machine washer, get your size, and then you can weld it, tack it on there, and then weld it on there for your perfect hole if you need to be. I'm going to do that a few places, I think. Yeah. Put a machine washer on it and then weld it on. It looks good. Gives me something to play with. There we go. All righty. There. That, would you? Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Now, this little thing has I can put a washer on it, or I need a washer on this side probably first, and then I can put it whatever to get that nice and tight. But what I'm going to do right now, though, is I'm going to get, I think I'm going to weld two ends on this. I'm going to weld an end on this one and an end on this one and pull it up through, and then hook that up. Awesome. Awesome. Take that off. Now, that is a little bit sloppy there for that hole there, but I want it there for now. This washer is not sloppy, and if I want to, I might put that on there, tack that washer there, and then run around it and have the perfect hole for it. And it needs a washer there anyways for the mount, so I should have measured. Oh, got to measure this. Distance for across here. That has to be I'm just going to make it a 5-inch piece. So what I'm going to do is, if it's a 5-inch piece underneath the frame, I'll bolt here, bolt it there, pull the pin, down she comes. That's basically it. If I'm going to have a 5-inch piece, 5-inch hangs over. It does, but I can cut it off to the frame when I get it in there. Then I know the perfect cut. So I'm going to put 5 inches on this side, and I'm going to add 5 inches to the inside. So I want a 10-inch piece on either end. And I'm telling you because I'm trying to tell myself. That's basically it. Yeah, we'll go there. I'm going to mark it where it's 5 so I know where to weld it on. Basically, I'm going to weld half it on there. Alrighty, I should turn this around, make it easier on myself. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm cutting the outside off. I left it a little long. It's a lot easier busting out the transmission mount this way than it is underneath that car. You know, didn't have it done, and we're sort of building it the other way around. 5-inch. I'm enjoying this build a lot too, because even the metal, you know, I didn't have to run for that. I had a piece. I was going to cut brackets over there to make it fit, but I had a piece of this to do the transmission mount. It just, I'm enjoying having the metal. Like this is old racking that someone dropped off. It's good thick walled stuff. I actually built the little car top on the container out there. We built like an Art Deco thing with the car on top of it, and I built it all this stuff, and thank you very much, Bruce. We also had, I think, Reg Corkum, I think. I see a radiator outside off a Kubota. Thank you very much. That's a cool little radiator. Alrighty, get me back to work here. Take and do this just because I'm going to put that on there. I won't get a chance to mess with the end of this when I weld it on there, so I'm going to just round it up a little bit. Make it nice so it got no sharp edges on it, and I would weld it on there. I still can fix it. Let's go over to the welding station. The welding station. See the ground. There, I see it. Take this off. We got a mark there to show us where the end is. We'll clamp it with that. We're going to weld it on. That's going to go underneath the chassis and bolt from underneath. We have to remember the motor did not fit down in top when we dropped it on the front end. And like I said, you can go watch it if you want to. And we put it underneath. I just laugh because there's nothing more you can do, you know what I'm saying? But you can't change it, you can't fix it, you can't nothing. All you can do is laugh and move on. You know? And those who do that quicker are much happier. Believe me. Don't let the past run you. You build the future. Just trying to make it straight, people. That's all, you know, just trying to make it straight. Cool. Nice and simple. This is a nice, simple application for a transmission mount. Nice and simple to me. Nice and simple. Nothing too out of the, you know, nice and simple. I should have burnt my cement. I feel bad for a second. There's my marks. Put that on the mark. Get ready. Get her in place. You know, it means a lot to get it in place. You know, I want to do the best job I can to get it in place. I only have to weld these suckers once would be nice. What I'll have to do, I'll put this up in there, and what I'll have to do is I'll have to drill the holes in the frame with this to know where this is at, see where this sets. Watch out! I should get a pair of vice grips. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm going to get 2 pairs of grippers to see what it looks like. 2 pairs of grippers. That means vice grip. I need to set a couple set of helpers. I'm itching. I have a couple old car bodies outside. One of these days, I have a 40 Ford 2-door down there. I just have the shell. I just have the shell, and it's got the wrong chassis in it and all that sort of stuff. But one of these days, I am going to bring it in and chop it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it in and chop it. Something to do. You know, just change the look of it, you know what I'm saying? It's been out there a while. I have an idea for the Ford truck. I mean, let's call it an idea, just an idea. I really like the idea of making the Ford truck a gasser. I really like the idea of that. I think I might even leave Neil's name on it and everything. Just fix it what it is, and I'm gonna get a little bit off this one, I guess. All right, I gotta cut. What is that? An 1/8. I gotta cut an 1/8. This is what I wished I would have done. I suppose it would have holes on the other side. What I wished I would have done is I would have covered that hole up. But that's okay. I can cut it off. Don't want to do that. I got this one on there. What am I doing? I'm cutting off an 1/8 of this. Need my glasses. I took them off down there, didn't I? I was going to use. I'm not going to use that no more. Just going to cut this back a little bit. Which one was I supposed to cut? Cut this one. Come on now. See, it's welded on there. That's why it's not coming off. I knew it. I knew it. Good job. Chetty. Alrighty. I had a washer. I probably fell somewhere. I was doing something with it, didn't I? Running around, my head cut off. Now we'll just vice grip it out on the outside here. to loosen up my grippers. Get a reasonable squeeze on. Now, I cut it long on this end for a reason, so I could get it cut with a frame. Now, looks pretty good. I just gotta, yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna try to center it, mark some holes. Now this piece here, it either gets a washer, gets a washer wherever it gets it to make it tight. That's basically it. If it needs a washer underneath here to make that tight up there, that's basically what it's going to get. I'm going to get a hammer. And we're going to make this look right. Looks pretty good there. Gee, that looks good. And I'm just going by eye. And right now, when I say I'm going by eye, I'm going by eye. Just see where the motor mount is. Looks good on that side of the motor mount. And then I'll go with it. And I would not make it any harder than that. Nope, I wonder if that's moving there at all. Take a look from the back of it. Just trying to see if it's straight. Basically it. Not trying to worry about nothing other than trying to just make it halfway straight. Looks good. I'm happy with that. So what's going to happen here now is I'm going to take a marker. Take a marker. Where did I put the marker at? Down here somewhere. Here we go. Stay with us. We'll give a hat or a t-shirt away today. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for watching. Having fun. Just having fun. That's what we're doing. Just having fun. She got a bit of dust on her. That's all. I'm just trying to get some places where we can put some bolts in. And then it can be unbolted and dropped down. How much? What a nice, basic, easy transmission mount, eh? Basic, easy transmission mount. That's what we want. I'm going to call that center. I'm just going to mark center, and then I'll go out there and cut the hole. So right now I'm going to take this off and take that off. Take this marker. Pull that down. Our mount's still under. Ah! Sorry about the mic, people. Something there was talking back to me. What the? Make sure they're big enough for the hole. I think they are. Cool. Now, let's put this bad boy back in place. Bad boy back in place. I know that center there. Now, back on there. Alrighty. Now, I want to center this. Center, center. Center. We're going to go with it. Let's give it the transmission. Might not cut through it, but I'll be able to cut a hole when I get back. No ground on there. Not working. Still need to take the die grinder and take the little flapper wheel to knock that off. But I really would just like to cut the holes, mount it up, cut the ends off and say, oh, transmission mount. That's all I'd like to do. Basically, like every other thing that's being done in this car, put it in place, put it where you want it, and then try to build to it. That's basically the end of the story. Put it where you want it, and then build to it. So if you have a motor or transmission mount to make, you put it in where you want it, and then build to it. And any way that you do that is entirely up to you. And they call that freedom! Don't they? Got to. That's my freedom, is doing this. Some people's is like riding a motorbike, you know. This is my freedom. Inside my boots are getting hot. Woo, dee. Ouch, jeez. That's too bad. I used her a little rough. Ouch. Jade. Jade. I've not cleaned up any of the holes yet, and I will clean up the holes. I'm going to go get a couple nut and bolts, see if I can get her to stay on there, see if one or two will fit, and then we'll basically have a transmission mount made. It won't not be perfected right in front of your very eyes, but it'll be made so you can see how you can make one. And it doesn't really matter if you make it like this one or make it like whatever you want to make it look like. And the reason I say that is because as you look around, all kinds of different cars all over the place that, you know, do different things. So that tells me, or that should tell you, that you can do whatever you want. Basically, that's what it boils down to. I hate to say that, but it's true. You know, if someone's allowed to, you know, some other car company's allowed to put, you know, coils in the front instead of airbags, well, that means that you should be allowed. Ooh, it's not fitting. Didn't want to have to do it. Didn't want to have to go to this tool. Did not want to have to do it. Everything like this should probably have a flat washer on it. You're doing something like this, you'd have flat washer everything, so everything tries to lay as true as possible. That's good. It's good. You. Now look at a bit of slag on the bottom. Getting savage now. If I've never told you yet today, Jolene looks amazing today. My lovely assistant. She's my lovely assistant. Jolene looks amazing today. She always does. Ouch. That's still hot. Maybe I should let it go down through. Try to put a nut on it. Yeah. Think that nut will stay there? That bolt will stay there so I can turn that nut on? Huh? Stay there. If I can put your finger on that, baby. Whoop, 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 whoop. Man. She's not only good looks, boys. She's a big help. All right, I'm going to the other side. This side. That now, would you? Can you do the finger on that one? Awesome. She got her doing nails, though. That just tells you that she works. That's all. Push. Am I getting that on there? Yeah. Nope. Oh, wrong size nut. Excuse me. Let's do that again. Transmission mount. We probably have to come up through transmission mount in a handbag, really. That's the transmission mount. I might weld those two holes shut, I'm not sure. But that's basically the end of the story. I'll cut this I'll cut this and round this off. That's what I will do. Where did I put that pin? I had a pin and a washer that'll go underneath like it was before. That's exactly what I had before, was a pin. And I have that there. It's on the floor here somewhere. But I think everything's going to work out great. Come on over. Transmission. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. Transmission mount. I still have to make them holes work and cut the ends off, make it look nice. Still have to do that. And I want to be able to nut it up and everything work. But I'm off to the rear end tomorrow. I'm off to the rear end. I'm not going to use that rear end. I'm going to use it for mock-up. I'll tack on. Yeah, I'll probably tack on the airbag system, but I want to make the Crossmember to hold it. And the reason being is I want to get one with brakes on it, and I want to make sure that we get one with the 411 gears. That's what I want. Also, what's going to happen is I'm going to do that tomorrow, and then it'll be the drive shaft, and then I'm going to go for Jim's car. We're going to pull Jim's Oldsmobile in, and we're going to put a floor in it. That'll give us some time to get the rear end. That'll give us some time to get a rear end, and then we can maybe go back to it, or I might chop a 40 for the hell of it. And the 40 is a 42 door. I just want to change the looks of it. We have it in the dooryard. It's a good looking car. What's that? We can. If you want, it's coming up. I'm going to do it. I just don't know when, but we'll post it. Chopping a 40 Ford, and that's what I'm going to do. We have a 40 Ford down here on the line here. It's a two-door, and basically I'm going to chop it and to see how it goes. I want to make it look different. I'm not sure if I want to chop it, take the roof completely off and make my own roof, make a roadster roof for it, so we could have a 40 roadster. I like that idea. It's just cut the roof off and make the back, chop the windshield, make a roadster out of 40 roadster. But also, I wouldn't mind chopping the 40 because there's nothing more harder than chopping an egg. You know, it's nice and round. It would be, what can I say? It would be fun to do. I have never done one where the roof is all round like that, and it'd be fun to see what we can make it look like in a day or two. Like, I mean, I just come in and chop it and be done in the day, or it wouldn't take very long. Let's face it, you just cut it and put it back together. If you don't like it, don't weld it. We'll finish this stuff here though first. I will tell you that for sure. We're going to finish that stuff there first. Go on to Jim's car, put a floor in that, and I'm going to try not to take a long time on that either. I'm just going to try to done. Anyways, let's give away a hat or a shirt. Transmission mount. Happy with that. Happy with that. Happy with that. That worked out very easily, didn't it? Yeah, we went well. And that way there, the transmission mount, I have to gusset things and make things stronger, and I can show you that after. But basically, when I say gusset, this is this piece here where the transmission is holding on this piece. This piece will have to have help. I'm not just going to weld along there and think that we're going to hold the transmission. No, it needs a little bit of help. And we'll give it some by putting a gusset on it. Yeah, basically it. This will all get welded for sure. I'll probably weld up in 2 holes and just flush it off now that I've done that. These are in place, that's fine. I'll just coat hanger those and fill them shut and buff it off. I want to make the holes fit perfectly. I take the drill bit and run her down through, make sure we get her so she bolts up and does that sort of stuff. We'll probably run it up through because I'm not sure. You know, what almost would be a great idea is to have that welded right in the frame. And that way there you could D-nut it, pull it down, and then put it right back on. Might even do that. Might weld it right into the frame, maybe. It would make it easier putting the transmission mount back on. And that can be decided after a while. Let's do it. This is the fairest way we can think of doing it, is just pressing the button and letting it choose for itself. If we did not get where you live, you can write it in. We'll try to get it. We are not prejudiced in any way. And I think that would make you stronger in every way. When it comes to the cars, guarantee I am not prejudiced anyway. I will put any motor, any transmission, any rear end, any hood, any roof on any car, and that's the freedom of it, you know. And there's so many things that you're allowed to do. You're allowed to do if you want to do it. Like you can put a Toyota roof on a Chevy truck if you want to. That's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. Whether you get to drive it or if you don't, just think of the times you'll have building it. Nothing better than that. Who won? Oh, start raffle. Transmission mount, I'm happy with. That went well. Went fairly good. Fred, I was going to say Flintstone, but Flintstoner. Ha, Flintstoner, I got it. What were the skis like when What were the skies like when you were young? Wow. Well, I said skis, so skies. That's a good question. You stumped me. I'm hoping that they looked just as beautiful as they do now. Actually, yeah, I'm hoping they looked as beautiful as they do now. I don't look backwards too much. I always look forward because there's too many things in my life that I have done that I really would like to forget and not think about, basically. And when you do that, when you're able to accept that the past is the past, you do not think of stuff like that. I'm always thinking forward. It basically forward means is I'm trying to pick up on and be aware of the things that make me happy, and that's where I go. All the things that happened in the past, I remember some, but I do not think of it. I take messages from it, what happened from certain things. I learn from it, obviously, but I do not. I try to think of the present and the future, if you know what I mean. Day by day is what is nice to do, but I'll think of the future more than the past. I'm sorry. I can remember as a young boy crying and screaming to have that big yellow ball in the sky, and I was mad that I could not have it and play with it. I remember that. In the sky there was a big orange ball, and I cried and kicked because I wanted that ball. Have a good one, everybody. Think of the future, not the past. Don't let the past stop you. That's already done. Go to the future.